Now this is an example of an MLA formatted page. First you have the page heading. You have the student name, the professor name, class name, and today's date. And then over here you have the page header, in which you have the student last name and then the page number. Then you have centered the title of the paper, and then here you have the very first paragraph. Now the first paragraph is the paragraph that introduces the topic. And so the first few sentences describe the topic, and then the very last sentence here. The leader of these heroic men was none other than Leonidas, who displayed countless traits of heroism, especially courage, loyalty, and commitment. Now this last sentence is the thesis statement of the entire paper. And the thesis statement is always the last sentence of the first paragraph. And the thesis statement summarizes the entire paper. And so here you'll notice the three main ideas of this paper is that Leonidas, the character, displays these three traits: courage, loyalty, and commitment. So this means that paragraph 2 is going to talk about courage, okay? And then the next paragraph will talk about loyalty. And then the third paragraph will talk about the third trait, which was commitment. And so the third paragraph will talk about commitment. And so here you have the thesis statement. Okay, I will bold it for you. Normally when you do your paper, you don't have to bold this, but I'm just bolding it just for this demonstration only. And so here you have the first trait, in the thesis statement, and this first trait will show up in your body paragraph 1, and I will bold it for you. And then loyalty, okay, and then this shows up in the second paragraph over, all right, and I will bold it for you. And then the last trait is commitment, all right, and I will bold it for you, committed to everything, okay. And so here, the main idea of this paper, the thesis statement, which I will type here, thesis statement. And so the thesis statement is the last sentence, and it summarizes the entire paper. You have here paragraph 2, it talks about it takes an incredible amount of courage to travel across lands to face an army that outnumbers you by at least 10 to 1, knowing that you will be killed, yet that is exactly what Leonidas did, showing an unspeakable amount of courage. Now I will go over the different grammar mistakes that this person made after I go over the content. So when you proofread your paper, always make sure that your thesis statement has matching body paragraphs. Now these middle paragraphs, okay, that I am currently selecting, these body paragraphs, these are known, these middle paragraphs, these are known as body paragraphs. All right? And so here, in the last paragraph, which in this paper is too short because you need to repeat the thesis statement, okay? In the first sentence of your conclusion, you need to write, Leonidas showed courage, loyalty, and commitment as heroic traits. All right? And so here you repeat the first, the thesis statement, and then you write 4 sentences. So as you could tell, the conclusion paragraph, every paragraph needs to have 5 sentences at least, and this paragraph only has 3. And so you would write in a few more sentences in the middle. There are several traits that create a hero. Aside from the traits discussed on this paper are several other traits that also make up the heroic content of Leonidas. And so here he needs to write in what are the other traits? What other traits? And then use examples from the story in order to illustrate this. One of the mistakes that this person made is using you, all right? So do not use you in a paragraph in this kind of a paper. Always use third person case, he, she, and they. And so I already wrote here, you is second person case, and it cannot be used in this kind of a paper. All right. And so then the last thing, in an MLA paper is the works cited page. The works cited page is always at the end of the paper. You have the author first, and then you follow this construction, okay, for a works cited MLA paper. And make sure that each paragraph has an in-text citation. So this is an in-text citation. This is an in-text citation. An in-text citation simply tells the reader where you got your information from. So even if you are just summarizing the source, you need to cite the source. Author, page number. So every paragraph needs to have an author, page number. And then you cite in your works cited page a listing of all the sources you used in your paper. Now this is the end of my lesson on how to write an MLA paper using the 5-paragraph essay structure.